Manchester City 7, Leeds United 0. An absolutely wonderful evening. Imagine being the kind of guy that was worried about this game. I definitely wasn't that person. I'll be honest. But it doesn't matter, because sometimes it's fun to be wrong. And in this instance, that was one of those nights. I should have known it'd be a good night when Nicola walked in and brought me a chippy and put it on my lap just as City was scoring their first goal. I should have known, but I did not expect that. It was wonderful. It was brilliant. It was fantastic. And of course, we're going to run through that today. I want to say thank you, though, beforehand to One Football. If you want to keep up to date with all the stats from that absolutely sensational performance and look at all the passes and all the shots and all that kind of stuff, and of course the individual statistics from each player, and of course the transfer news is coming up very soon, given it's the January transfer window approaching, go and download it right now with the link in the description below. It helps support my channel as well, which is absolutely appreciated if you don't mind. So download it right now, do yourself a favour and nourish your phone and join over 10 million people in getting One Football for the absolute massive, huge prize of, how much does it cost, Nicola? It's free, there we go. The glamorous assistant in the kitchen over there. She's not actually just, I don't put her in the kitchen like some bloke. She's literally, that's where she is. Anyway, go and do it right now and help support my channel. If you're wondering where I'm sat, by the way, I'm sat in the dining room, soon to be plastered dining room. Sorry, it's been plastered, needs to be decorated. My big lights up in the bedroom where I've been painting. I'm covered in paint. I've got a dressing gown on because I'm scruffy right now. Deal with it, because it doesn't matter, because we've just seen City win 7-0 against Leeds, and honestly, that was a fun performance. It was very fun. And it was also a functional performance. We've just slashed Liverpool's goal difference advantage literally down to 2, from a 9-goal difference down to 2, which is huge. And more than that, of course, we beat a Leeds side, which could have been tricky. They weren't tricky, but they could have been tricky. And now we're currently 4 points clear. Of course, both teams have games to play, but I'm not going to complain. I'm definitely going to take it right now. And we should do. Sometimes you need a good old ruthless battering to get the senses going. And this was what Manchester City did today. Guardiola clearly wanted the players to come out and prove a point, and he clearly got that response from them as well. I mean, the two performances we've had, very different. The Wolves game and now this one, absolutely worlds apart, but I will definitely take it on aggregate. Absolutely wonderful stuff. And what I loved about tonight was how much joy Manchester City played with. Honestly, it really was a genuinely joyous performance at times. The way we were moving the ball around in the first half in particular. Second half just came like Harlem Globetrotter stuff, where we were just smacking it in from distance and playing fancy passes. But the first half in particular, for me, it was fluid, it was brilliant, it was mesmeric, and it did actually carry on in the second half too, to be fair. But I loved it. I just never in a million years saw that coming. And I guess I didn't see it coming given the fact that we had no Kyle Walker, no Joao Cancelo, but no problem. Zinchenko at left back, obviously so composed and so involved in the build-up always. And John Stones, just big old reliable Stones, even getting forward and scoring a goal from right back. You gotta love to see it. It took him a few efforts, but I'll take it. I loved his celebration. He absolutely loved that goal. Likewise, I loved all the little stories from this game as well. Kevin De Bruyne, looking back to Kevin De Bruyne's magnificent best. Honestly, he was powerful. It was just so much energy in his game again. And seeing him actually drive forward again, I was worried a little bit, occasionally worried that he might not have that pace. I didn't think he lost his quality, but I was worried if his pace was still going to be there, given all the kicks to his ankle and given COVID and given all the injuries. But there was a few times tonight where he just sensed blood and he drove forward. And he killed them. He absolutely killed them. His second goal in particular, just a thunder bastard of a strike. A foot like a traction engine, to quote Partridge. Genuinely a ridiculous strike. And it's one of my favourite things in football when Kevin De Bruyne just goes, I fancy scoring a goal, and then he just smacks it dead hard, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. But that's Kevin De Bruyne at his very best, isn't it? His first goal as well was lovely. Inspired and created by Rodri. He was imperious in that first half. Rodri at the moment, how good is he, man? It's rhetorical, but feel free to answer in the comments. Give me your most creative answer to that. But Rodri right now is just absolutely on fire. The big man, Godri, as I like to call him, he's found a level at the moment where he's just strolling through games, and he had that midfield right there in the palm of his hand. And of course, he got forward as well. He started creating. I think he sensed that the midfield was going to be so open that he could use his obviously many abilities just to get forward and influence the game in a different part of the pitch. And he was like Yaya at times, bursting forward. I absolutely loved it. And of course, as well, alongside him, Phil Foden, not alongside him, but alongside him in the team, of course, Phil Foden scoring, looking really lively. It was good to see Phil just play play a Premier League game, get 90 minutes. Probably could have had another. His second, I think, might have been onside. Maybe it was off by a millimetre or two. It felt harsh to me, but either way, he was massively involved, and I think he in general had a positive impact on the man alongside him, Jack Grealish. I thought Grealish was really good, man. Grealish came out today with such an energy and vigour to his game that I really enjoyed his performance. Guardiola's obviously been talking a lot about Grealish in the press conferences and talking about how he will get there, and his performances have been good. And the quotes as well from Grealish where he hasn't been happy with his own performances, to me, are a really good sign. That shows that a guy clearly wants to improve. He clearly wants to be his best, and he clearly is self-aware enough to actually know when he isn't playing well. I love that. I absolutely genuinely love that from a player, because that shows football intelligence. I don't know if he's the brightest guy in the world or not, but one thing I do know, he's a very intelligent footballer. And he's clearly intelligent enough to be self-aware, put it that way, and know when he's not up to scratch. And I love that, because that creates desire, that creates intensity and intention as well. And Grealish clearly wanted it, and he came out and scored a header today, but he was good going forward, driving at people. He looks so much like a Manchester City player. I know he's not been perfect yet for Manchester City, but if you can't see how he fits into this squad, literally fits like a glove. He's so perfectly Manchester City. And of course as well, Mahrez, you just saw some magic from Mahrez. There's one particular pass to Gundogan, which should have been a goal, unfortunately, but it wasn't, where he dinked over the top in the second half. Just mesmeric. And of course he made his own look for the goal as well with a deflected shot in, but he was great all night. And City had fun, man. They had fun. De Bruyne, Grealish, Foden, Mahrez, they were having fun, and Bernardo was as well in the first half until he went off. And I think that was just more just to get minutes in the legs of players and so on, and rest some players. And Gundogan came on and was totally fine as well. And everyone else defensively, there was that great moment from Ruben Diaz where he did this weird backwards worm defensive thing. I fucking love it. It was like Phil Jones funny, but good. And he actually followed a really good bit of defending as well, where he kind of shackled two forwards who were crowding. He forced them out wide so the cross had to come in. But that was Ruben Diaz, and Laporte was good alongside him. Of course, as well, Ake scored with a header. Lovely header as well. Nathan Ake baby getting on. Nathan Ake baby. Nathan Ake. She's gone upstairs. I thought she'd be able to get involved. Whoa! She's in another room now. But I loved him scoring as well. And of course, just the whole overall performance was fantastic. And the best thing about that for me is what it sends to our rivals. It shows that this Manchester City side are not going to let up. We are hungry for this title. It doesn't matter that most of the players have changed. It doesn't matter that we've won loads of Premier League titles under Guardiola already. We want another. We clearly want another, and we are going for it. And that to me should be scary for Liverpool. It should be scary for Chelsea, because this City side, they're hungry still, man. They really still want to eat, and I love that, man. I love it. I admire the intensity, and of course as well, you've got to consider the fact that so many people didn't play today. Kyle Walker, Joao Cancelo, we didn't see Sterling who's in form. Jesus didn't play as well. Who else didn't play? I've forgotten. Ferran Torres, of course, if he ends up getting back and so on. I mean, how do you choose a forward line from this? It's genuinely ridiculous what we've got at the moment. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne as well, finding a bit of form. It's wonderful. Genuinely wonderful. And I love John Stones as well, charging forward, looking for his brace, overlapping. I mean, at the moment, this football that we've got, I don't get how people could say this Manchester City side are boring. They're just not. They're brilliant. They're wonderful. And they're fantastic. I actually got a text as well. Nicola's mum's fella is a Leeds fan. He texted Nicola after the first goal saying, I had a dream it was going to be 8. He was so close. He was so close. And lucky Sparky. Maybe one day you'll get that 8-0. He's a Leeds fan, but it was good. But either way, that was a good night, City fans. Just enjoy it, man. You've got to enjoy nights like this. You've got to enjoy the football we're playing at the moment. We are top of the league. We are finding form. We are winning game after game after game in the Premier League. And we look pretty good. And when you look at our fixtures coming up, things don't seem too bad, man. They really don't. We've got through a couple of difficult games there. We've got Newcastle at the moment aren't playing well at all. It's away from home at St James's Park, but you've got to fancy your chances there. Leicester, they haven't been setting the world alight. We've got them at home on the Sunday 26th on Boxing Day. And then, of course, as well, Brentford on the 29th away. That'll be interesting. And Arsenal on New Year's Day. There could be another 4 wins there. There really could be another 4 wins. It'd be nice, wouldn't it? And at that point, sorry, I put the light back on. It was just a white screen. At that point, you have to be confident about us winning the title. And let's have it. Who's Liverpool got? Liverpool have got Liverpool's fixtures. Next up, they've got who's the next game? Newcastle. Okay, is that on Thursday? Yeah, they're going to win that comfortably. And Chelsea have got their next game up is Everton on Thursday as well. You never know there. You never know, but I think we should be all right. Guys, City are fucking brilliant. 7-0 and a wonderful night of football. I've had a chippy. I'm in a dressing gown. I'm loving life. Download One Football. Thank you very much to my Patreon producer, Scott Denemy. I've just realised I forgot to give someone a shout out for Patreon, which I will do. I think it was Cole. But Cole, mate, if you're watching, I haven't forgotten. I did forget, but I haven't forgotten, if that makes sense. And I'll give you a shout out tomorrow in the 5 Things Learned. For now, though, thanks very much, please. You're all awesome. Get me to 60k. I'm so close, like 700 left. Hit the subscribe button and the like button and leave a comment on your thoughts on the game. In a bit.